I sound like this is very cliche music. Go ahead and do the intro before I lose my breath.
Welcome back to Azure Striker Gunvolt.
I did that all in one breath. Sorry.
You alright?
Let's say, took a pink side, and sure enough, Joel was in the kitchen. 1 teaspoon.
Yeah, Joel's apparently cooking.
One teaspoon of soy sauce. Oh shit! 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. She's making a dish for Geese Howard. Gotta appease the Japanese mafia somehow.
I don't know. Does Fatal Fury take place in the future?
It can.
That's a good point. That is one of the franchises that has multiple timelines.
This would be no different in the King of Fighters universe, honestly. So,
but I mean, like the King of Fighters has been rebooted so many times.
No, it hasn't actually.
It wouldn't surprise me if Geese comes back.
It has not.
I mean, Geese is in King of Fighters 13, so
yeah,
or is it 14?
Yeah, because he hasn't technically died in the King of Fighters timeline.
I know he died in Fatal Fury, but then King of Fighters retconned that.
No, King of Fighters didn't retcon that. King of Fighters takes place in its own timeline.
Okay. Oh, okay. So the Fatal Fury stuff never happens in King of Fighters. That makes more sense.
Anyways, train stage.
Anyways, yes, train stage. As I was mentioning in previous parts, there's a reason why I mentioned in the first part that this is basically Mega Man 05 without being actually called it, because yeah, this is basically the intro stage from Mega Man 03.
Why can't we get a flamethrower?
Because we need a gun that tags things.
But flamethrower.
We have lightning powers, which is lightning is hotter than fire.
But flamethrower.
We're fine.
Also, I like how you cut out Asimov there.
Oh yeah.
Fuck him.
Basically, all Asimov was telling us is like, because this game is non-linear, sometimes you get tutorials for things that you may have already learned about. So I think what Asimov was explaining was the kudos system that I already explained back in part 1. So.
Okay. I guess they expect you to do this stage first or something.
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure.
Me neither.
Because sometimes non-linear games do have like a preset first stage, but that's usually why there's intro stages.
Yeah. If anything, they really should have gone over this during the intro stage.
Well, they talk about his abilities in the first level.
Yeah, I just meant more of the gameplay mechanics.
Yeah,
more of it.
They explained how you attack, but I think what Asimov was explaining was the Pervasion System, which is a good segue because I don't think I fully explained that very well. I remember we briefly mentioned that in the last part, but basically you have Gunvolt has an ability known as Pervasion, where if your electricity meter is at 100%, then you can take chip damage from all minor attacks. So instead of taking the full damage from like bullets or small missiles and stuff, it'll just kind of make you flinch. You'll still lose like a sliver of health, but most of the damage will go to getting rid of your electric meter. And that's a tactic that a lot of speedrunners use, where they basically just dash through the entire stage and avoid killing as many enemies as possible, and just save all of their big attacks for bosses and such.
Like this one, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Bot. Spider-Bot.
Every stage has a mini-boss like this. They're usually pretty simple.
Spider-Bot. Spider-Bot. Goes backwards and shoots lasers from its head.
Although thanks to it being world building, even like the characters will you'll even see that they actually comment on it, like, oh, this is a new thing, not like the last 3 giant robots I blew up.
I think Sonic did the same joke. Sonic Colors did anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know, as I did a little sightseeing and did a little sightseeing and crushed a giant robot. It's like, oh, what'd you see? I was like, oh, did you find any food? Did you find any good stores there?
Like right there, what you saw right there, that giant laser that went through.
Yeah.
You notice how my energy meter on the bottom like lost a quarter of it? That's what Pervasion is. So instead of that being most of my health, it took damage. It took the meter off of my electric attack rather than my health.
Well, how are you supposed to dodge the laser? Actually, I'm curious.
It depends on which way it's going. If it's going from the ground up, you can jump on the second. You can jump on top of the train right there because there's 2 platforms up there.
Okay.
And if it comes from the ceiling down, then as long as you're standing underneath where I was standing before, the laser will miss you.
Oh, okay. From the way it looked like it was kind of unavoidable, but maybe I wasn't noticing something.
Yeah. There are some unavoidable attacks, and that's where Pervasion comes in, because the game just expects you to just tank the hit.
I'm noticing...
Because thankfully, there's not a achievement for doing perfect runs, otherwise they'd be impossible in this game.
Yeah. I'm noticing you're trying to be a lot more careful with breaking these blocks.
Yes, because we're coming up to the gem for this area.
Oh.
And the gem is actually underneath a whole bunch of blocks, and if you break them in the wrong order...
It gets crushed, doesn't it?
Then one of them... Yeah. There's also specific blocks you can't actually destroy, like those solid black ones you can't actually break, and that's the one that's going to fall on top of the gem if you screw up.
Because of course it is.
Thankfully, because this game has a checkpoint system, if you mess up, you can just pause the game and hit restart. Because there's 2 different ways of resetting the level. There's restarting from your most recent checkpoint, and then there's restarting the level from the beginning.
Oh man, Gunvolt's one weakness, a giant box.
Yeah.
Who'da thunk it? He'd be screwed against Box Man.
You'll take damage from the steam that I just ran past.
Oops. Where is it at? Oh, again, black blocks. How'd you not die from that?
Yeah, those are the ones you can't destroy.
How'd you not die from that?
You have to jump around them.
How'd you not die from that?
Sometimes that can happen. The hit detection in this game can be kind of wonky. Where, like, if you're just barely on the edge of the hitbox, it'll just push you out of the way rather than you take damage.
I'm sorry, that throws me off really bad. Like, I see that, and the first thing that's going to come to my mind is, don't let me get in between the box, or else I'm going to get crushed. I'm not going to expect myself to just slide across the other side a little bit because of that.
Right. Oh, I should also mention, I had the Naga gun equipped. What that gun does is it gives you a charge shot. So if you hold down the button, you can charge it up, and then you'll tag everything in a straight line, rather than just the first bullet that you shoot. And that makes things easier for here if you want to destroy multiple boxes at a time.
Oh. Sorry, I was kind of not paying attention. I heard a weird noise go off, then I realized, oh, that's just my heater. Never mind.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I heard a squeak, and I'm like, what?
That happens every time you're midway through a stage.
No, I heard like a really random squeak in the room I'm in. I'm like, what was that? Then I hear the heater. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Okay, so thankfully there's a checkpoint right after that because we're coming up to where the gem is for this level.
I see dynamite boxes and I'm already nervous.
Yes. Thankfully it's not like the TNT boxes or the Nitro boxes in Crash, where if they explode you die.
Yeah. Nobody.
It's more just if they explode, they blow up everything around them.
Well, in Crash 4, they actually have a mask that slows down time so that you can actually walk on Nitro crates before they explode.
Ah.
But it's like in slow motion, so you have to be quick about it.
Right.
But it only works with the mask. If you try to do it without the mask, you're still dead.
Damn.
I noticing you're trying to be very careful.
Yes. Because this, like I mentioned before, this is where the gem is. The gem is actually on the other side of the platforms here.
And I think you just blew it up.
I was trying to so the gem is right under where that black box is in the bottom right corner there.
Okay.
So this is where I'm trying to decide. Like,
I think Gunvolt just rage quit. I hate to interrupt you, but like it just looked like Gunvolt just straight up rage quit.
No, that was just me.
It's like fuck.
So there's two different ways you can restart this. You can either
what the fuck?
And then there's that. Now, I don't know how that works. That's happened to me a couple of times.
What the fuck?
I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's the intended way for you to get through there. But as I was saying earlier, the hit detection in this game is really, really wonky.
You straight up went into you straight up went into world -1 doing that.
And here's the thing, I would say that's a glitch because I think it is, but 9 times out of 10 when I looked, like after I did that, I looked up footage from other playthroughs that other people did about how to get that box, about how to get that gem. And some people did it the normal way, where you're supposed to blow up certain blocks, and you have to dash over and pick it up before the steel block crushes the jewel. But like 5 other videos that I've seen did exactly what I just did, where you blow up the first block, and the one above you pushes you through the wall, so you can grab the gem the fast way.
That doesn't even make physical. That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't, and I'm convinced that was like a. I'm convinced that Inti Creates did that on purpose, thinking nobody was gonna think to do that.
They probably wouldn't. Because how are you supposed to think to do that?
Because you can still get it the way you're intended to get it. Also, by the way,
ninjas!
These ninjas. We fought them before, but it bears repeating. They're obnoxious, and you see how I'm just spamming my super, because that's the fastest way to deal with these assholes.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have super for the boss now.
You build up super attacks faster than you think. Also, keep in mind that when you get to those kinds of doors, you actually can't climb over them because a lot of the times Inti are dicks and they hide things behind the checkpoint doors.
Light of the night.
Although I think they do that more in Gunvolt 2 rather than 1.
Oh.
Oh, and I love the. Okay, so this is Viper. This guy's hilarious.
Why? What makes him funny?
Well, he's gonna explain it in about 2 seconds, but he really wants to kill Gunvolt.
Why?
And the reason why? He's in love with Joel, and he's mad at you for being around Joel more than he is.
Oh, so he's a lolly lover.
Basically, he's a really big fanboy of Joel.
So he really likes the lolly people, huh?
That, or he's just a really big fan of J-pop.
No, I'd say he's a lolly lover. So yeah, go ahead and kill him.
What's funny is in the 3DS translation, the first line is like, Gun was like, "Oh, another Sumeragi guy, huh? Take a hike," and he's like, "I'm gonna hike my boot straight up your exit hatch for pissing me off."
That's not even a good comeback. That's just something you say when
It's not, but that's what makes it so unironically hilarious.
I'm just saying that's not even a good.
I laughed out loud when I read that the first time.
That's not even a good comeback. That's something you say when you run out of things to say.
He's basically saying, "I'm gonna kick your ass because you pissed me off."
I'm sorry, Viper, but you're not red. Only red can shove his foot up people's asses.
Anyway, since we're about halfway through the fight already, Viper's boss fight is obnoxious because it's basically a Toho boss fight.
Also, why are you shooting at the wall? For one thing.
I'm not trying to shoot at the wall.
You were shooting at the wall for a bit there.
So this is when the boss fight goes full Toho.
Yeah, I think Viper was also in Mighty Gunvolt Burst. Or Mighty Gunvolt.
Yes, he was.
I should say.
I think all the bosses were in. I think all the bosses from Gunvolt 1 are in Mighty Gunvolt because I know that Zonda was the final boss for Mighty Gunvolt.
Yeah, I have played and beaten Mighty Gunvolt. That's how I know.
I have too, and that game is also really funny because it's making fun of really bad NES translations where the plot makes no fucking sense.
It's also a much better game than Mighty Number 9, so pick that up so you can actually see Beck being in a good game.
It is. Gunvolt in general is better than Mighty Number 9. I'll admit
That's why I said go play that game if you want to see Beck in a good game.
Especially if you want to see more of it, because then, well, I mean, there's technically going to be there's technically 4 games, because Gunvolt 3 isn't out yet, and I'm not entirely sure when it's going to be released. It's slated to come out sometime this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed till next year.
I think it's already slated for next year.
I think it was originally supposed to come out this year, but then world stuff happened.
It wouldn't surprise me it wouldn't surprise me if that was the actual reason.
Yeah, and I think it got delayed to early 2021.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I hate to interrupt you, but I'm not gonna lie. The B rank kind of looked like an F.
I know. It's just the way that it's just the way that things are written. However, on the subject of sequels to these games, there is Luminous Avengers IX, which is, I think it's supposed to technically be a what-if scenario for Gunvolt 2, but I could be completely wrong on that. I never actually got around to playing it. I really should before Gunvolt 3 comes out. But Luminous Avengers IX, the main character for that game is Copen, so...
Oh, great. Yeah. Just what we need, another asshole.
To be fair, in Gunvolt 2, you can play as Gunvolt or Copen so it plays on Mega Man X4 logic, but I'll get more into that when we get to Gunvolt 2. That's assuming you want to do commentary on Gunvolt 2 with me when I get to that. But anyway,
you done, Truck? Hey, Truck, you done passing by my house?
Well, it's a good thing it passed by after we finished.
Seriously, damn, that thing was loud.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you guys for the next part.
射するよ濡れて光るだけど紫虚しく点滅して